Do you want to hear the story of Kevin? It's a pretty interesting story. I assume you do since you clicked on this video. So let's get it started. Kevin. This motherfucker is crazy as hell. Now I know that a guy named Kevin seems like a nice bloke from down the road, but this is the kind of dude who will rip your arm off and finger your mom with it. Anyway, let's see what he's up to. Well, would you look at that? He's in a cemetery, probably just checking one of his latest victims. He's got a shovel and a very odd look in his eye, a sort of sex grave look. Oh dear God, is he going to dig up some body and have his way with it? Wait, over there, a group of possibly drunk teenagers. Kevin sees him too, so he decides to put the shovel down and pull out a tombstone from the ground. He waits for them to approach him in a bush. One of the teens break away from the group. He walks toward the bush. As soon as he reaches the bush, Kevin pulls him in and beats the brain matter out of his ears. Then, after about 20 minutes of senselessly beating his head in, he pulled out his hunting knife and skinned him. After that, he noticed that the others were finally starting to notice he was gone. Where the fuck is that idiot? He should have left us the weed. Kevin started to lurk through the bushes. Creeping up to drunk teenagers is always easy. After he got close enough, he took a knife and threw it at one of the teens. It hit him dead in the fucking nugget. After they started screaming is when Kevin got really happy. It's his favorite noise. He pulled his knife out of the kid's head and started to chase them. Catching them was no problem for Kevin. He grabbed one of them by their shirt and then just chopped his head off. Kevin then chucked the head at one of the girls and knocked her out, then dragged her to a remote location to keep her locked up and torture her and, well, I'm sure you know what else he's gonna do. I'll just pick this back up after he's done chaining her up. Well, now that he's done doing that, we can get back to the story. We'll pick up with Kevin sharpening his axe. After he was done, he took it and headed out. Since it is so foggy outside tonight, Kevin decides to just wander the streets and find his next victim. After all, after about 20 minutes, he finally found the next one to die. Slowly creeping up behind the dude until he turned around, and believe it or not, but the dude was fucking terrified. So naturally, he ran. So Kevin gave chase with his axe swinging for his head. After about 3 blocks, Kevin caught him, kicked to the back of his leg so that he was on his knees, and with one shot, his head fell to the ground, and his body shortly followed. But Kevin wasn't satisfied with it, so before he left, he took one of the dude's arms. A surprise for his next victim. Luckily for Kevin, it didn't take very long for the next one to be found. So Kevin just walked up to him, stopped, and stared. "What the fuck do you want?" said the douche. But Kevin just stayed quiet. "If you don't tell me what you want, I'm gonna kick your ass." Again, Kevin stayed quiet. "Alright, bitch." Then he swung on Kevin. But Kevin just blocked it and slapped him with the severed arm. "What the fuck?" Then the bitch tried again, but this time he actually hit Kevin. So then Kevin punched him in the gut, picked him up, and powerbombed him. Then, while he was lying down, Kevin flipped him over, took the severed arm, and fisted him with it. Kevin shoved it in elbow deep, then cut off his dick and shoved it down his throat and left him there to bleed out. Since the night was still young, Kevin decided one more death wouldn't hurt. Well, him at least. So he broke into a house and played boogeyman. First stop was the parents' room. Slowly creeping in with his blood-red axe, after silently killing the husband, he woke up the wife, cut off her head, and then skull-fucked it. Kevin then took both of the heads and hung them in front of the child's door and waited till morning. And naturally, he made himself a sandwich while he waited. When he heard the kid scream, he leaped up and ran towards him, and with one swing cut the torso in half. After all that, Kevin was tired, so he went home to sleep. He had big plans for the next day. First thing to do was pay his hostage a visit. I mean, where else was he going to get the fresh ingredients? So Kevin grabbed his scalpel and a few buckets. "What the fuck are you going to do with those?" After that line was uttered, Kevin just smiled a demonic grin. Then he began the harvesting, first sticking the scalpel in the upper stomach. Of course, he stopped halfway through the cut because of the ear-splitting scream, so he shoved a ball gag in her mouth, then started cutting her again. After he could get his hands in your guts, he started pulling them out, throwing them into the buckets. Kevin then decided to sample the meat, taking a small bite out of her thigh. He must have thought it was amazing because he took another huge bite. Then, after all the organs were in the buckets, he took her head and chopped it off and put it with the rest. Kevin then went back upstairs to put the organs in storage and grab a mop and some ammonia to clean up all the blood. Kevin then started to bake a cake with his new ingredients. After he mixed them all up, he just made the fucking. Well, that's it. I'm not going to tell you how to make a cake. After it was made, he decorated it since it is Valentine's Day. He then proceeded to send the cake to the old folks' home as he does every year. And now it's time for the next massacre. And what better place than a school? A high school. And what better one than the one Kevin went to before he decided to become a serial killer? So, after he gathered tools, he started to make his way to Shithead High. After walking a few blocks, Kevin was stopped by a cop, which might happen to you if you carry a bloodstained chainsaw. What the hell is that on your back? What the hell is on that chainsaw and why do you have it? But all Kevin heard was oink oink, and he decided to make some bacon. After putting his saw through the cop's brains and jaws, veins and all, he just kept on going, and he finally made it. And at lunchtime, time for killing season. First, kicking the front doors down, and the kid coming around the corner just stopped and literally shit a brick. Then he caught a chainsaw with his mouth and the top half of his head hit the floor. Kevin started to go to the lunchroom after that, and on the way, he saw a couple sucking each other's face. So he took a swing and cut off the chick's head. Then, as her boy bitch is bawling his balls out, Kevin takes the head, beats the dude until both of the heads are mush. By now, people noticed there was a serial killer in the school, but since Kevin is a ninja, nobody knew where he was. That is, until he drew a sword and made his presence known. With a chop chop here and a swing swing there, blood had gotten everywhere, and now there was an army of SWAT bitches. Then, they opened fire on Kevin, and with a storm of bullets, they got him. Kevin was laying there, bloody Swiss cheese. "I got him!" screamed one of the bitches who went to check the body, and as he got in close, Kevin pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the neck. "Jackson!" screamed another bitch. Then in the blink of an eye, the whole group of SWAT were cut into little pieces, and as Kevin went to walk home, satisfied with his work, he turned the corner and was greeted with a shotgun in his mouth. And he got the Kurt Cobain look. But the final question, was it the real Kevin?